My name is Kalman Csoka, and I'm from Alpharetta, Georgia, and I'm a martial artist. You know, being able to be looked up to for what I've been able to accomplish it has a lot of gratification to it. It's really satisfying, and it makes me want to push myself harder and farther. When I got into martial arts in general, I was so young. I wasn't even 4 yet. My mom wanted us to get into it for self-defense purposes. And of course, as a little, 3-year-old kid, I just kind of tagged along. Right before I tested for my black belt, I went to, at the time, one of the biggest karate tournament in the world, which is the Battle of Atlanta. And I was able to win, competed against one other kid. I can see that still in my mind, being, 6 years old. From that point on, it just kind of clicked for me. Hi, my name is Kalman Csoka, and we're going to go over our hyper sword strikes. Now, one big element of the sword is actually the saya included with the sword. But for the purposes of the creative elements that we're going to go over, we're not going to need the saya. So I'm going to show you really quick how to take it out and put it down. All right, we're going to go through cut number 1. All right, breaking it down slow now. We're going to start in a diagonal, like 45-degree angle stance. Backhand's going to be out 45-degree angles with the sword, at a 90-degree angle with my arm. Front hand's going to be out also at the same angle that the back arm is out. Notice I want my sword tip pointed away from me here. I'm going to start by doing what I call a pre-step. So I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to step out behind me to the back, but I'm not going to turn my body with it yet. I want to keep my body over here so I can have my power loaded up. As I do that pre-step with my left foot, I'm going to bring the sword blade up over my head with the tip pointed to the left to where my foot stepped, and I'm going to grab my left hand on the bottom of the handle. Be very sure that you grab the hand all the way on the bottom instead of right next to your other hand, because grabbing it on the bottom will actually maximize your power on your cut because you'll be able to push and pull with it, so it'll make your cut more effective. So again, starting here, bringing it up over the head, grabbing it, cutting across 45-degree angle from over my right shoulder, boom, down to my left hip. Arm pressed against my body really tight. Back elbow, my left elbow's up really high. The bigger the elbow, the better on this. We call it like an obnoxious elbow. So if the elbow's sticking out, that's good. When it's sticking out behind you like you elbowed someone, right here. All right, the next part of this cut, we're going to come back around over the head, stay in the stance as the blade comes over the head, tips pointed to the right, because we're going to cut to the right. If we're cutting to the right, tip goes to the right. Bring it over the head. Again, chamber it over your left shoulder. Now you're going from your left shoulder, boom, down across to your right hip this time. Again, arm really tight in front of the body. And on this one, my top arm is going to be straight right here. Okay? So again, starting from the start position, I'm going to step, bring it up over the head. Make sure you grab it on the bottom, all the way on the bottom. Cut from right shoulder to left hip, boom, hitting a good front stance. Bring the tip up to the right, blade up over the head, chamber, and across from my left shoulder, boom, down to my right hip, switching into my right front stance, okay? Now we'll follow along with me. So I'm going to start here, pre-step, bring it up over my head, chamber to my right shoulder, bam, cut across to my left hip. Again, you can see my elbows up really high like I just elbowed someone behind me. And bring the blade up over my head, tip to the right, chamber up over the left shoulder, and boom, down across to the right side of my body. So I'm going to go left side and right side, and left side and right side. And you can just keep going back and forth with this when you're practicing it. Left side and right side. So I'm going to start here, pre-step, bring it up over my head, chamber to my right shoulder, bam, cut across to my left hip. Again, you can see my elbows up really high like I just elbowed someone behind me. And bring the blade up over my head, tip to the right, chamber up over the left shoulder, and boom, down across to the right side of my body. So I'm going to go left side and right side. And that's our downward diagonal cuts. I realized that if I wanted to be at a certain level, then I would have to go through the process. Even though some days were maybe not very good training sessions. I couldn't get a move down. I couldn't do a flip, or I couldn't, couldn't catch a sword a certain way or whatever the way I wanted to. I kept going at it, had a positive attitude about it. If it wasn't the best, that's fine. Next day, that's on the list of days to train. Come back, try to do it again. Hi, my name is Kalman Csoka. We're going to go over hyper double sword strikes. So the sai is a big part of the sword, but for the creative and more specifically double sword purposes, we're not going to be using the sai. So I'm going to show you how to draw it out of the sai really quick, and then we'll get going into our first cut. So you actually have your back turn, and you'll put them down, flip them up so the arc is going down, and pull out. And you can hit any position that you want to when you pull out. That really doesn't matter. Okay? So, cut number 1. All right, so follow along with me. We're going to start in a 45-degree angle stance. Legs are going to be locked straight, back up, shoulders out. Double low block position with my arms. Swords are going to be at 90-degree angles with my arms. So I'm going to start as I pre-step with my left foot. I'm going to chamber my left hand to my armpit and bring my right sword up over my head here. So then from there I'm going to slash out with my left, going across my neck, and then do a right downward cut with the second sword. So I'm going to go left across, right going down at an angle. The left sword's going to hit my hip once I'm finished with it, as the right sword hits its cut. From here, I'm going to go back the other way. So I'm going to bring the left sword around my head, right sword's going to follow the circle, cut across with the left across the neck, keep moving the right arm to your left shoulder as the left one comes to your right armpit, and boom, right one's going to do a right downward cut into a right front stance here. So again, you can just follow along with me back and forth. Here's to the left side, 1, 2, bring it around, and to the right side, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the left and to the right. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had a pretty bad injury. It was like at midnight. We were trying to train for a show, and I just landed wrong on a trick that I had done a lot. Like, it was just a routine trick for me. So at that point, you just got to be smart. You got to think like, well, right now, I can't necessarily do what I was doing until I'm healed. So I'm going to try to do something else productive. I believe my success with the swords really picked up is because, well, when I can't flip around and jump around on my knee, I'm working my swords. I'm trying to maybe reinvent myself just a little bit. All right, here we go with combination number 3. All right, now in this combination, we're using our wrist roll to re-grip the sword from a regular grip to a reverse grip, okay? So, here's how it's broken down. I'm going to start, again, 45-degree angle. Hands are going to be out double low block position. I'm going to bring the sword, tip of the sword up, and bam, do that snap to the ground, up to the left shoulder, boom. Chamber with your left hand on the bottom, bam, drop right, downward cut into a right front stance. Now from here, I'm going to do just a simple reverse figure 8, rolling it around, coming up, down the center of my back. Make sure it's right down the center of your back, really high with your body. Boom, drop into another front stance, this time cutting straight down. No angles on this cut, straight down. Now I'm going to switch my left front stance, bring my left hand out, bring the sword under my wrist, cross, so I got my wrist crossed up, let go, re-grab with my right hand. So now I'm in a reverse grip with my catch. Bring it around over to my right shoulder, left hand grabs on the bottom to reinforce my cut, step over, slash. So a slash means I'm going to just continue through with the motion. So I'm going to step over, slash, spot over my left shoulder, bring it up real high over my right shoulder again, boom, hit my left front stance with my left downward cut. So I ended in a reverse grip, but started the combination in a regular grip. So if you can follow along with me now. So from here, I'm going to set it up, boom, really high, right downward cut, right front stance. Again, I'm going to come up again with my body, reverse figure eight up to the center of my back. So I'm going to go just reverse half figure eight up to the center of my back, drop it straight down. Make sure that cut comes right through the middle. Switch, hand comes out, wrist roll, quickly re-grab it with the same hand in a reverse grip. Chamber over to your right shoulder, step through, slash with the right foot, pre-step as you look over your left shoulder, spotting the spin, boom, and left front stance for my left downward cut finish. So again, snap, chamber, right downward cut, half figure eight up to your back, vertical down, switch, bring the blade under, cross, let go quickly, grab, bring the sword over to your right shoulder, grab, step, slash through, bring it up, and finish good left front stance, downward cut. And that's our combination with our wrist roll.
The Diamond Nationals was my last tournament. But still, even though I'm not competing, I still have to keep progressing myself so I can inspire the people and the kids, so that way they, when they do come up and say, oh, that was awesome and everything, that's motivation to keep going, keep doing new things, keep putting new things out there. I never wanted to have a count of how many tournaments I won or how many grand championships I won. I wanted to just be remembered, and just maybe have someone say 10 years from now, oh man, you remember that form that Kalman did? Just be remembered like that.
All right, here's combination number 3. All right, so this combination is with the handles of the sword together, kind of makes like a double-bladed bow, if you will. So you're gonna follow along with me. I'm gonna set up by bringing my elbows up and popping my arms down and dragging this up. This wants to take like maybe 1 second to 2 seconds tops. Boom. That way, when I'm doing a form, I don't have to worry about stressing out and putting them together really fast. I can actually draw that part out and sell that. Boom. Bring it up and grab. So I got good grip on both hands with both handles. I'm gonna bring the top blade around my head, left downward cut in a left front stance, bring it around my head again, right downward cut, right front stance. Now I'm gonna bring my body up, block, again using the same blade that I did on the cuts. I'm gonna block, boom, tip pointed to the corner, to the right corner, and bam, back down for a right downward cut. Now I'm gonna start bow figure eight motion. So I'm gonna go in front of me, focus on one tip when you do this. So we're gonna go in front of us, bring it up, down behind us, in front of us again. Now after it comes in front of us again, I'm gonna bring it up over my head, and now I'm gonna swing the left part through. So I'm gonna feed it through, so I gotta kinda get my body hollowed out, swing the left part around through, and that's gonna allow me to bring the blade up over my head again, chamber to my right shoulder, and boom, I'm loaded up for a big left downward cut coming across. All right, now we're gonna follow along again, one more time. So set it up, grab, left downward cut, right downward cut, high block, stretch the stance out, right downward cut. Start to figure eight, front side, front side, bring it up over the head, feed the left sword, that's the one your left hand's controlling, through your body, around, boom, and left downward cut to finish. One more time. So set it up, grab, left downward cut, right downward cut, high block, stretch the stance out, right downward cut. Start to figure eight, front side, front side, bring it up over the head, feed the left sword, that's the one your left hand's controlling, through your body, around, boom, and left downward cut to finish. And that's our bow combination.
I think Hyper portrays an awesome message that it's not just a strict training, environment. Like, this can be a lifestyle. Like, you can gather around with several of your friends and just do tricks for several hours at a time. And I think it's awesome for kids. It gives them something to focus on. It gives them something positive to focus on outside of school. So now they're striving to become better and better at their skill, whether it be weapons or forms or the flips or just the creative side of it, to where they might not be doing flips. But like I said, it gives them something positive to focus on rather than, you know, maybe having nothing to do, sitting around getting into trouble. And being part of it now, I kind of see that as well. You know, to be successful at anything, you have to, you know, live, eat, sleep, breathe it.